Bounded rationality is a concept that is attributed to Herbert Simon. It is a concept that is opposed to unbounded rationality. Unbounded rationality is the vision that there's an omniscient being, omnipotent, knows everything, can compute all the consequences, a Laplacian demon, or maybe God. Many models in the social sciences are still of the unbounded rationality variety. And since the subjects in the experiments aren't omniscient, you just give them all information. Bounded rationality is the study of how people make decisions in an uncertain world. Actually, there are at least 3 different meanings of bounded rationality. And 2 of them still don't want to deal uncertain worlds. They want to study decision-making under risk, where everything is known, including the probabilities. Most economists would say bounded rationality is the study of optimization under constraints. So you still have optimization, and remember you need for optimization a small world where everything is known in order to compute the optimal solution. And constraints may be constraints outside. There is information that you need to search, or inside, there are some memory limitations. And that's not what I think bounded rationality is about. It's what Reinhard Selten, with whom I wrote a book on bounded rationality, calls the repair program. Optimization doesn't work, it's not very realistic, so you just add a few parameters into it. And then you get prospect theory, get inequity aversion theory, and many other theories that deal with the bounds by adding more and more free parameters. Herbert Simon once said to me in private conversations that he wanted to sue people who misuse his term bounded rationality for optimization. So that's the first meaning. The second meaning is most widespread in psychology, and now it's still optimization. So the question is now, there is an allegedly optimal answer to a simple problem, mostly by logic or the probability theory, and people deviate from that because they pay attention to the content, not just to the formalism. And this deviation is then interpreted as a bias or error, and the explanation is because our cognitive limitations. That's called bounded rationality. Now the study of errors. Both programs look totally opposite. The first one emphasizing rationality, the second one irrationality, but they share something. Both accept the norms of logic, probability theory, and so on. The third program, which Herbert Simon represents, and we try to flesh out, is ask a very different question. So here's Simon's question. How do people they make decisions when optimization is out of reach? So in an uncertain world. And that's the question which is rarely studied. And here, this program of bounded rationality asks 3 questions. First, the descriptive one. Here, and I call this, what's in the adaptive toolbox of a person, a culture? What are the heuristics they use? Are there more social heuristics, more individual heuristics? Second, and the second question is a normative one. In what world will which heuristic succeed and where will it fail? Note that the normative question is not asked in the cognitive illusions interpretation of heuristics, but heuristics are always second best. That's not true. So the study of heuristics in an uncertain world allows you to really empirically ask the question, when is it better to ignore most of the information and just focus on, say, one good reason than doing a neural network or computing a Bayesian analysis? And the surprise is often that, and I think that has been first shown in our research, that in many situations, one good reason can do better, not just be more frugal and faster, but also more accurate in predictions than an entire multiple regression. So the third notion of bounded rationality is the study of what's in the adaptive toolbox of a person, a culture, how does it change over lifespan? When is it normative to rely on a heuristic as opposed to another strategy? And third, how to use these insights to design strategic tools that experts can use so that they make better decisions, and also how to create the environment so that the use of certain cognitive strategies becomes ecologically rational.